yeah. Hey. Watch how I step through the neon blue bay. I got the vision to lead the whole way. No one can stop what I must finish today. Building the kingdom that is surely here to stay. Trading the rusty anchors to find a new boat. Draped in the jewels that hang from my throat. Keeping my high spirits and wild dreams always afloat. Signing the checks for the fire lyrics I wrote. Welcome the king sitting so high on the throne. I made a world that is strictly my own. Reaping the seed that my inner power has sown. Look at the distance and how I have grown. Breaking the links above every thick iron chain. Leaving behind all the stress and the phantom pain. Driving the fast lane and taking the gold rain. Washing the dust with the cold and pouring rain. Counting the seconds and stacking the crispy green cash. Burning the fuel till the engine will finally crash. Moving so quick like a bright white lightning flash. Throwing the negative thoughts in the dirty plastic trash. Climbing the mountain because it is really quite steep. Making the promises that I must always truly keep. Diving in oceans that run very far and deep. Waking the lions that were in their heavy sleep. Chasing the sparks in the middle of the night. Everything heavy is starting to feel so incredibly light. Taking the power to reach a new massive height. Witness the future that looks very bold and bright. Fueling the furnace and stoking the hot, heavy fire. Aiming for targets tested way up much higher. I am the spark that will never ever tire. Playing the strings of a digital electric gold light. Stepping on stage and I really start to rock. Watching the hands move around on the golden clock. Opening every door that is held under a lock. Docking the ship at the very big city dock. Hearing the rhythm and feeling the loud bass sound. Lifting the massive weight up off of the ground. Searching for treasure that needs to be finally found. Fame is the circle where we are all bound. Rolling the cubes and I throw the lucky dice. Living a life that is cold, just like ice. Paying the toll and I pay the full price. Never will last for the same exact thing twice. Watching the river and how it will always flow. Putting on colors to make the dark skin glow. Planting the seeds for the garden to really grow. Putting my name on the front of every show. Walking the pavement and feeling the summer street heat. Moving my body and catching the fast drum beat. Never will accept a single small moment of defeat. Making the victory journey feel so very quite complete. Standing so quiet and standing so extremely purely still. Climbing the peak of the very last giant hill. Swallowing down the bitter and the white medicine pill. Working the ship for the paper and dollar bill. Chasing the glory and chasing the ultra bright fame. I am the one who is changing the game. Nobody else can ever carry my own last name. Set in the wood and the dry timber in flame. Driving the engine inside of a super fast car. Looking for wishes upon a lonely distant blue star. Putting my drinks at the fancy high rooftop bar. Healing the skin from a really deep jagged scar. Moving so quick and I move so incredibly fast. Leaving the shadows of the very dark heavy past. Building a legend that will always truly everlast. Feeling the power of a very loud sonic blast. Putting my heart to the very ultimate goal test. Sleeping the night so I get enough deep rest. Wearing the gold on the front of my chest. Being the one who is clearly the absolute best. Listening close to the songs that they always sing. Wearing the diamond upon a shiny new gold ring. Taking the flight on a very wide silver wing. Living the life like a modern young urban king. Standing so large and standing so very, very tall. Never let anyone see me start to ever fall. Painting my name on the very large city wall. Answering back to the very loud siren city call. Opening up the very next heavy glass front door. Dancing around on the very wide wooden dance floor. Asking the universe for a little bit much more. Hearing the ocean and waves at the sandy shore. Walking to fire and walking through the hot blaze. Lost in the middle of a concrete city maze. Fixing my eyes in the very steady sharp gaze. Getting the credit in all of the public praise. Everything old is starting to feel very brand new. Looking at things from a very fresh modern view. Doing the things that the others simply cannot do. Sticking to goal like a very strong industrial glue. Yeah. Yeah. I will start the fire and let it blaze. Navigating through this complex and very dark urban maze. Smoke is rising up inside a heavy purple haze. Nothing that they do could ever truly even phase. I am sitting steady on the heavy golden throne. I have stayed inside my very focused active zone. Look at how watch all my seeds have grown, building up this empire while I am all alone. Watch the way I make the whole room sway. This is not a game that children should play. Every single debt is what I will now pay. In the center of the stage I will stay, moving with a very powerful and a lethal drive. Only the strongest are the ones who will thrive, feeling like I'm finally and fully truly alive. Into the deep blue water I will now dive, catching every single flicker of a bright laser beam, plotting out the details of a very perfect scheme, manifesting every vision of a very wild big dream, rolling with the heavy hitters on my winning team. Coolly pushing through the pressure with a lot of grit, finding every piece that will eventually just finally fit, dropping every single banger in a massive radio hit. I am never ever ever gonna simply quit. Listen to the engine as it starts to roar, higher than the eagles I will truly fly soar, dancing with my people on the crowded club floor, kicking down the lock of every single closed door. Come and take a very fast and risky ride through the city streets, I will smoothly just glide, swallowing my ego and my very heavy dark pride, staying on the winning and the very right side. Morning comes around and I am wide awake, watch the way the solid ground will truly shake, putting every dollar on a very high stake, let the money and the bread just finally bake. Running to the finish and I am moving fast, making sure the legacy will always truly forever last, having such a very crazy in a total blast, leaving all the shadows in the very distant past, standing in the middle of a heavy cold rain, working for the glory in a very massive game. I have learned to live with all the pain, breaking every link of a very heavy iron chain, proving to the world that I am the best, medals hanging heavy on my very solid gold chest, dropping to the ocean in the far west. I will never ever take a single second rest, everything I touch is turning into solid shiny gold, making every move and being very brave and bold, doing exactly what the legends have always just told, having such a very strong and a steady hold, igniting every fire with a very bright little spark, navigating through the shadows of the very deep dark. I am much more than a loud bark, leaving on the industry a very deep mark, buying every item that is very fresh and new, looking at the valley from a very high view, rolling with the members of my very loyal crew, diamonds in the water and they look so blue, setting up the rhythm in a very fast pace, winning every lap of a very long hard race, flying to the stars and into deep space, handling the pressure with a very simple elegant grace, breathing in the scent of the very fresh air, blinding all the haters with the very bright glare, lighting up the sky with the very bright flare, finding a diamond that is very rare, dedicated daily to a very heavy and hard grind, searching for the treasures that I will surely find, keeping all the negative thoughts very far behind, loving every person who is very sweet and kind, chasing after every single crazy and a wild thrill, showing up a very polished and a sharp skill, manifesting power with a very strong and deep will, paying for the party with $100 bill, solid as a mountain in a very heavy rock, working every second on a very busy ticking clock, giving all the critics a very heavy deep shock, answering the door when the golden opportunities just knock, creating in the struggle for a very loud fame, changing up the rules of a very old game, burning like the center of a very hot flame, everybody everywhere will eventually know my very own name, moving through the business and I'm very smart, getting ready for a very fresh and new start, playing every single very vital and a key part, rising to the top of every single music chart. Get me one, very loud in the shout, this is what the life is truly all about, letting all the energy and the spirit ride out. I have cleared away every single tiny little doubt.